And we're live. Welcome to the Put Up. I'm your host, A.K.A. the Wizard, and this is where untold stories are told. Uh, Thanks for joining us. Today is December 29th, just about the end of the year now, eh? Today we have Akaash Money with us. How's it going, brother?
Oh, it's good, man. I've had a good holiday season. It's been quiet, been nice to get back into rhythm. How about you? You do anything for Christmas?
Man, we got nothing but family events nonstop, parties, hockey tournaments, you name it, man. We're going nuts right now. So we're just gonna hop into this interview. First things first, where did you get the name Akaash Money? Let's see that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I tried having a different rap name when I was younger. It's just kind of like how other people do, they just like pick words at random that sound cool. But my name's Akaash, so everybody just kept calling me Cash Money, and like there wasn't anything I could do about it, so I just kind of ran with it. I've been to 4 different schools, like 8 different workplaces, and never introduced myself as a Cash Money, and they just start calling me that.
Yeah, I think there's a Cash Money crew, right? Like a big thing down in LA or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was really big back in the day. Something like that.
Yeah. So tell us about your creative journey. Like, how'd you get started as a producer artist? You
I mean,
produce and as an artist, right? Like you make beats and stuff too, right?
somewhat, yeah. Like I dabble with the beats, mostly just recording. Um, I don't know. I'd say it's like pretty natural. I think like everybody kind of rapped when I was younger. Like it was just like a hobby, but it's one of those hobbies where it's like it comes up so often, kind of like the name. Like it just comes up so often, you just stick to it. Like people will just randomly. You're in high school, people just randomly like, yo, freestyle, and then they don't expect you to actually freestyle.
And then you're good, right?
Yeah, and it just happens so often. It becomes fun, and you start doing it at home on your own with people that, yeah, you just invite them over, you just hang out. So it kind of just like came like such a consistent thing that I just kept making music, and then eventually, I think 2019, I was living on my own, and I downloaded like a free trial of Melodyne Autotune. So then that was the first time like trying to take the rap and then trying to turn it into like a song, like kind of open me up because I've always wanted to sing instead of rap. But like, yeah, I took like that 7-day trial, made like a full EP, and then just ran with it.
That's dope. And then you just slowly progressed into what has become today. I would consider you like a melodic like R&B kind of hip hop,
for sure. Yeah,
right? Like
I mean, I still have like a rap flow, but like hitting the notes just changes everything for it.
Yeah, it's more melodic than like a typical hip hop song would be, right? So like, how would you describe your style? I described it a little bit, but like, what makes you stand out compared to other artists that are also making melodic R&B?
I mean, I've tried like a lot of different variations of like pop R&B sounds. I think most recently I've really settled on doing like a lo-fi indie type of thing. There's a couple other artists in Toronto that do it. There's like Daniel Caesar. There's
Right.
I'm not even gonna mention the other ones because we're like friends, and it's like they I don't want to like this is my interview. I don't want to promote them, but yeah, like there's like a wave of people doing like Toronto has a very somber nighttime type of sound, and we usually use that for like really stripped down trap soul type of beats. So I'm kind of bringing that same element of like it's very atmospheric, very lo-fi, but a different type of R&B
subject matter, right? Of your content.
Different subject matter. Yeah, it's more like it's kind of like instead of like
thing, right? Like you got a lot of mood going on inside the tracks that I've heard, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like instead of because usually we do like driving at nighttime music. I think I'm going more for like you're at your destination at nighttime, like you're going for like a walk at night on the harbor type of thing. That's my favorite place to go to. That's probably what inspires it, like just walking at night on the harbor in Toronto.
That's dope. I actually gave my wife like an upgraded wedding ring right there.
Really, at the harbor?
Yeah, because we go down to Toronto all the time for like little stints and stuff and just have fun, right? So we went there for like I was married on Valentine's Day, so we went down there on Valentine's Day, had a dinner and stuff, and a walk on the harbor, right?
No, that's dope. Yeah, I think that's like literally like the vision I make music for. It's like a romantic walk by the harbor for sure.
It's so perfect. I've already experienced your music in a way. You know, that's dope, bro. So like, what inspires you to make this music that you make? Like what brings the ideas to you?
It's really like, I mean, I guess it's kind of niche, but it's really like whenever I do make music, it's not about someone. Like there might be lines here and there that makes people think it's about them, but it's more like every time I have a new experience, I reflect on all the similar experiences, right? So it all just makes one song. Like it's not like it's about anyone, it's about like every time I've been in that position, whether it's like a relationship or a workplace or a person that I just have problems with, like things like that. It's like it's just reflecting on like that cycle. So, you know, like every time it kind of gets better because there's more and more generic each time. I'm just noticing like common themes instead of like a specific situation. But I'd say that's what inspires it. It's just like noticing patterns in my life.
Yeah, and then people connect with those things when they hear the experience and it's similar to something that they've experienced, and then that boom, there's the connection of the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and I really like that because I've gotten so vague with my music, with my writing style, that like it takes people a while to actually realize what they relate to in it. Like the first time they'll hear it, they just kind of hear words, but then after a few times, like when they get back to it, when it
And they're
just kind of like
crying.
pops. Yeah, yeah, I've heard that before. Like it just pops in their head. They just feel like they need to play it. They cry to it, and they're just like, "Dude, I get it now." Like I didn't know what the song was about before, and
The
it means something
replay
different.
value. That's what I call it, the replay value.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how
exactly.
many
Yeah,
times you gonna stick that sucker on because it affects you, right?
yeah.
Well, that's dope. I think we're gonna take a little break and hear some art from you. The first one I think is called Miss Insanity. It's something that you literally just created like yesterday or something,
Oh
right?
yeah, I think I can't even remember because I didn't sleep, but I think I literally started yesterday at like 8 a.m. and then finished at like 12 p.m. at night.
Yeah, I made a comment about it at some point in the middle of the
Yeah,
stream, I
yeah, you
think.
know that was actually a big tip because that's the clip I keep spreading is like that hook, that the high
Perfect.
part hitting the hook. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let's hear it.
You noticed how lately I can't talk like you, my baby. Girl, you lost your mind, erased me, and I crossed the line. You chased me, and I know this. You made me drink and I focus. I need to change, I'm not faultless. I'd be the same if you and me traded places too. We cannot change, 'cause you know this. I'm not calling no more, I'm being honest. I've been wrong here before. You so soulless, you so heartless. You control me, can't console this. You so lonely, can't keep quiet for one moment. We could be okay, but up every day. I could stay away for now. You keep playing games, and I can do the same, but I don't think you play. You're so right quiet now. You seem hopeless, can't take silence for one moment. Play you violence, 'cause you like them with your roses. You keep lying, I see right through all your poses. You keep talking, and I like the way we're frozen.
Wow, and there it was. That was an amazing track, bro.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Tell us how you made that. It was
Yeah,
in
just
one day, right?
came literally yesterday.
And the background vocals. Tell me about those.
So I actually wrote a song to this like maybe 3 years ago, and I've always really liked the beat, but the song was never mixed well. It was always really like gritty, and you could hear all the grain. And it just takes away from my, because I try to go for as smooth as possible, right? So it took away so much from the song. So then when I try to re-record it now, I was trying to remember the lyrics, and I had nothing. I was just humming. I was just going like da da da, like nothing coming out, right? But I was like, no, this sounds good. Let me just flow with this. So I just kept flowing to the beat, doing all these ad libs, trying to remember the lyrics. And then by the time I actually sat down to record, I had to write a whole new song because the ad libs were basically the old song, right? So if you listen to like there's 2 sets of ad libs in the back. There's basically 3 songs going on at the same time, but they all kind of make one thing together. Like they fill each other's pockets.
Oh, it sounds perfect together. It makes like this perfect little background dub effect of like the real thing that's happening up front, right?
Yeah.
Love it. We're gonna move forward in the interview questions here. What's been one of the biggest challenges in your career so far, and how'd you overcome it?
I mean, definitely just finished, I guess, somewhat overcoming it. Like I feel like being a perfectionist, but not like perfectionist like everything has to be perfect, more like I didn't want to keep releasing music until I got like the direction of the brand right. Like I would look back at old songs and I'm like, I love that song, but the album cover is not it. So I'm just not showing it to anybody, right? Like it's and because I've like one bad album cover, like all 7 look off to me because there's like one in there that doesn't fit like the series. So mostly just figure out like a direction, even with the sound of like I don't want just that one song to sound like it doesn't sound like an Akaash Money song, right? So I think that's been the hardest thing for sure is like trying to figure out what exactly it is that makes my sound. Because before that, like I'm just trying different beats, right? So I don't know what it is about. Is it only this type of beat that I work with? Obviously, no. Is it only like this type of cadence? Obviously, no. So it's been a lot of like process of elimination of what doesn't work for me.
Well, and I remember you touching quickly before the show here on like each project is like focused on a different technique or a different realization,
Yeah.
right? So then like the first one was like based on buying the auto tune, right?
Yeah.
So like as you progress through your career, then it's like honing into what is that final definition, right? Like that final form that Akaash Money will be forever, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all just like starting to click together now because I took some time off to think about it. And I think especially at the time to just experience life is what always gets you back into the right mindset when you come back into it, So after not making music for like
love it.
yeah, so just not making music for like 6 to 8 months. When I came back, I was like, man, I know what I wanted. What was I thinking? Like, yeah, I overcomplicated it before because I was doing this every day. Yeah,
that's amazing. So what moment are you most proud of so far then in your career?
Man, I'd say even just like the first couple of times I went into the studio. So it's an EP called right now. It's called "Welcome to My Rap Party." I think I might change it. I'm still not settled on that one, but basically I just submitted my old EP, like my at home free trial of Autotune demo, and then the guy I submitted to loved it. He was like, just come to the studio, I'll give you like a free 2 hours. And he's like a pretty solid engineer. Like I've been heard about him. When I first came though, I was just rapping because I was like nervous to sing. And then right at the end, I like sung just like one note for an ad lib, just like to lead it out. And then he just looked at me and he's like, you should have just sang the song. Like, I don't, and then so he invited me to come back and actually sing a song instead of rap a song. And then it just became such a confidence boost every time because he would always like enjoy what I was doing. And every time I'd come in, he'd be like, dude, I like working with you because every time another rapper comes in here, I know what they're going to do. I know the flow. I know the type of beat. I know like the sound they want. I can't even like tell your session from your last session to your next session. Like, so that's what I really like for sure is every time I do a studio session, it's been an accomplishment in its own.
Boost, right?
Yeah.
It's all about is growing that confidence and making you feel like you can go get that next one, right?
Yeah. And even just knowing that like, because I've worked with different engineers and knowing that it works with everybody I've worked with, where it's like when I step into the room, it's different than other people they work with. I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, you leave a little imprint there, right?
Yeah.
Make it special for them. That's amazing. So let's get into some of the more technical aspects of how we make music. Like, what tools are you using? What kind of rig do you have to bring your ideas to life? Like, you talk about being in your room there with your mic and whatever. What do we actually use to make the art?
Yeah, right now I just use this. It's just the USB AT2020, the classic.
Right?
This is I don't even use like I have like a really good shot guard and everything, and a stand. Don't even use this. I just sit at my desk. Yeah, it's
First time right here. We just hold the damn mic in our hand and make it.
yeah. I mean, it's lo-fi music at the end of the day, so I feel like the muffledness sounds good, the distortedness sounds good. But yeah, we'll figure it out over time for sure.
No, I used the AT2020 in college at a apartment when I did like a cover of like an Eminem track that I rapped for a guy or something.
Oh, this is the classic. No one can convince me that
I got
you
an
need another mic.
AT2040 in the cupboard over here.
Nice.
So, is there a unique approach you take when you record that other artists might not take? I've heard things like meditating before you start recording. Like, is there something special that makes you different when you record?
Yeah, I'd say one of the main things is I try to record. Well, I guess one of the main things is every time I record, I'll record a layer, and no matter what, no matter how good it is, it just ends up being the ad lib. Like it just ends up being a double. It just ends up so like my recording just gets better with more layers. And I never know which one I end up using for like the main vocals, but it's usually like the last one ends up being the main, and the first thing I recorded, no matter what, is a double or it's the ad lib. So like there's a lot of songs. Well, you'll hear a full song with a whole different flow as the ad lib, and it's just mimicking kind of like the main, but that's just how it works for me. So they fill in different pockets. They use some of the same words, but completely different flow, same beats, and yeah, I don't think there's other artists that really do that where they just scrap the whole song halfway through every single time they record.
Yeah, like I hear we do it all the time, and like during the production process of like comping vocals, where we'll take 6 or 8 tracks of the same thing and try and find the best words even and make that the track, right? Where this is a little bit of a different thing, where it's like, fuck it, throw the whole thing out and like do something else. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's I actually don't comp anything. Like it's all like you'll see 4 different lines of one take, and it's just so it'll literally be like I just hummed for the whole first take, and now it's the ad lib track, and then I just did a double with like a different cadence, and now that's the double. And
they're just locked in pieces of art almost by the time they're finished. Just the 2-minute track, eh?
yeah, and so I'll punch in like any words that I feel like I didn't like nail right, but for the most, and that's only on the main. For the most part, it's just 3 straight lines of just one take.
Well, that's really cool. It's like a unique way of recording, the actual recording of the vocal itself, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, I think we're gonna go hear another song of yours now.
Sure.
What was that called? I forget the name of it.
You gotta be kidding me. Yep.
And that was I think the second song that I heard from you when you sent them, and I was like, wow, this one is like, it's on that same tier with the one we just heard. I think they're all on the same tier, but I was especially happy with those two.
So this one's not out yet. Yeah. Sorry?
Preface the track for us. Tell us what it's about.
So this one was the last track I recorded in a studio. So maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was I'm not gonna go into what the situation is about because it's kind of weird for the people that it is about. But it was definitely like a very specific moment where I feel like a lot of guys when they go through like a heartbreak, they kind of try to be like, I hate that girl, she played me, yada yada. Like they go through all this like being jaded type of phase. I felt like the most hurtful thing I could say is I bet you didn't even like me because I knew how much she liked me. You know, like I just felt like I just felt like it was like such a petty song, but it's like it sounds sweet still when you don't know the backstory. But yeah, it's just the last song I recorded. I stopped going to the studio right after this. I took a break from music because I knew I really like nailed it with this one. So this one's not even out yet. It's just my favorite song.
Oh my. Well, let's hear it.
pretend, cause I wish it's fake. This ain't what I thought it was, cause girl, if it is, then it's nothing great. I thought that your love was the real one, but it's all the same. You can't keep telling me that you feel a thing when we're not a thing. Every time you come around, I see a different rhythm in the way you move. I see your heartbeat start skipping when I'm in the room. Girl, you got me frustrated by the way you playing like you're so confused. I thought that one day we would be together, baby. You got me good. You have me hoping, wondering about the way you feel. You never spoke them. You kept your pride. I saw right past it. Wrong of me if I keep it real. Took away your defenses. You told me lies. You must be joking. Try to read in between the lines. Thought I felt some emotions that you never had. I got some questions, all the things I should say to you. Let it be, I'll regret them, cause you got me bad.
Welcome back. That was a great track again by Akaash Money. We're going to move on into how do you connect with your audience?
I feel like my music has always been for people that already connect with me. Like I think people see I've gotten really mixed reactions. I kind of like it where people will meet me after listening to my music and be like, dude, you're nothing like what I expected. Like you're kind of a jerk, and you know your music's kind of like sweet. And I just don't know what to do with that. But then the inverse happens where people meet me and you know like they enjoy me being a jerk because it's not like I'm actually mean. And then they listen to music and they're like, "Oh, dude, like I didn't know you had depth to you. That's crazy." So I feel like
now there's a whole nother like dimension to Akaash.
yeah, like would have never guessed, you know. So I think people connect with me personally, like even just the way I promote things or the way I talk or the way I send things to them. I used to have like a consistent two to 3,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And the large majority of it was just me playing video games and sending people a link to my music while I'm playing video games, right? Because it's like they were already enjoying playing video games with me, and they're just strangers. And then I would send them the music after, and so they feel like obliged to go listen because you know they were already connecting. So
interesting.
Yeah,
that's a really interesting like marketing technique because like we hear it. I've taken all kinds of marketing courses over my life, and it's like 7 touches or whatever for a sale type thing, right? So it's like being already connected to people means there's a layer of
like 4 touches in,
yeah. So once the trust is there, they're willing to go and listen to your song for the first time, even though they don't know you. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. That's really interesting. And then they get to your art, and it's like relatable to everything that they've ever experienced in their life, right? That's the other part of it. I get it.
That's actually like the exact method or methodology I use a lot is like the 7 touches. So this really does get you like halfway through the ladder where it's like
almost like a cheat code.
Basically
to the heart. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing, bro. I love it. So like what do you hope people take away from or experience when they hear your music then?
I'd say mostly just like introspection. A lot of people will listen to my music and tell me it sounds better when they're inebriated, which usually is like all music, right? But like they'll hit me up and just be like, dude, I didn't even realize you had those ad libs in the background before until like I got into the mindset where I didn't want to do anything except listen to music. And then I put on your song and I was just sitting there listening and I was like, wait, like there's like a whole other song that I didn't hear in this, you know? So I think that's what I want people to take away from it overall is like the enjoyment of just sitting around doing nothing and just like actually wanting to listen to music is hopefully the end goal. I feel like
it's about like different reasons why they're listening to it then, right?
Yeah, because me personally, I listen to music that's for like background music. Like I'll do it while I'm cleaning, I'll do it for a commute, for a drive, right? So it's definitely different than the type of music when I want to listen to music where it's just I don't want to do anything else but focus on a song. It's my own music. So I'm hoping other people have the same experience with it.
Right. And then you think of like how often are you doing that focused listening type thing compared to like a passive background thing, right? And it's understanding all these different situations and how people listen to music. Because I think there's a difference, and I heard it from a lot of people, there's a difference between like being inside in the music industry and we have all this knowledge on how everything works, right? Compared to the passive listener who's never made a song, never touched a mic in their life, right? They don't know what an audio interface is, right? And they experience music on a totally different level than we do, right? So it's like understanding how do we relate to them and come across through the music and hit them in the right time, in the right place, right?
Yeah. I mean, it almost feels like they're listening to music the right way to me, but I don't know which one is really like the best way to listen to music.
Yeah, it's like which way is the right way? Is it passive? Is it like on purposely going and finding people because you heard about it? Like what is it that makes a person hear a song, right? Let's move ahead to looking forward into the future. What projects are you currently working on? I know the one that's on hold, right? And then something comes just randomly yesterday. So tell me, bro, like what's next?
I'm planning on 3 or 4 projects this year. My goal is to hit 50 songs. I think I'm at 15. I don't think we're getting to 50, but we're gonna get to at least like 35-ish, you know? So I'm planning, I've got them all planned out. One of them is already done. I just have to mix it again because I was gonna release it last year. So I can't say too much. I'm just gonna say that I've got one already completed that I just have to put a mix on, and then I've got one that is I've written already. I've picked all the beats out for. I've got one where I haven't written it, but have old songs to it. I'm just redoing, and then the fourth one is just gonna be out of nowhere. Like I know I have time for a fourth one. So okay. four projects this year. Yeah.
And the project's name, remind us.
So the next one coming out probably, because I might switch them around, but it's called I Do My Own Stunts.
And that's kind of like paying homage to the whole sitting in your room, making everything yourself, self-produced, self-mixed, the whole thing, right?
Yeah, it's just like not being afraid to blunder, because I'm just freestyling pretty much everything. And it's also the fact that like I actually wanted to be a stuntman. Like I work in film and TV, and I worked in a haunted house once where I was just like doing my own stunts. Like I would just be like, it didn't really hurt much. Like I'd just be running into walls, just jumping off tables and stuff. And like I like going crazy. So I wanted to be a stuntman for a while. But yeah, it's just kind of like combining the two passions, making it like one universe.
I do my own stunts. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So how can fans and collaborators get involved with your work and support you? We have your link tree posted below the video here, but like, do you have a website? You're on social media, X active, obviously, right? That's where I found you.
Yeah, I think Twitter is probably the best way to connect with me on X. Depends on the type of person you are. Like if you just want to keep up with what I'm posting from music, then I would just go to Instagram or something, or just follow me on Spotify, probably Instagram. But if you actually want to like connect with me, then I would say go to X for sure.
Right. Yeah, so I think maybe she's got that link even broken out below the interview here. But yeah, other than that, we had a question from the audience actually a little bit ago. Who are some of the inspirations from your past that made you create the music that you make today?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift's a good one. Taylor.
I love that song.
I wouldn't specifically name that song, but like Taylor Swift's been a big inspiration for sure.
I use the kick drum right at the beginning of it as like a mix reference sometimes because it
She
just
has
bangs hard.
phenomenal producers for sure.
Yeah.
So those
So,
some great
on a
drum
technical
samples.
standpoint, I actually use it as reference material sometimes.
Yeah, she's got a great drum sample, but I think it's mostly the fact that she went from like the country pop to like such a lo-fi route. And I don't think a lot of people are listening to her new lo-fi music because it's not on radio as much, but she makes some like somber folk type of like camping music. I like it a lot.
Okay, so Taylor Swift and who else?
Man, it's so hard to pick a second following up Taylor Swift. Future is probably my favorite artist. I think Drake is always going to be a big one, just being from
I hear you talk a lot about Drake.
Yeah. See, Drake wasn't even my favorite artist until people started talking bad about Drake. And I'm like, there's no way, dude. Like, there's no way you guys don't get how good he is. This is impossible. Like, I have to explain to you how good he is at writing. And even just like it's like he's marketing through writing. That's how good he is at marketing. Is he can market.
Yeah, and I think he touched on it, right? Creating a project with the intent to with the whole marketing and branding strategy prior.
Yes, he knows what you're thinking before he puts down the pen. Like he's actually 100%. A genius with it. So Drake for sure, Future, Taylor Swift. Fourth one, right now, my favorite artist is V's. He's like a rapper out of Detroit.
I gotta have to look him up. I don't think I've ever heard of him.
He's really good. He makes really bouncy music that I like a lot. And then a fifth one, my favorite artist at one point was XXXTentacion. I think that was like what inspired me to not, man, how do I say it? I guess inspired me to think that to be competitive because he's younger than me. And I feel like he was always doing a lot. Like he was so active online and with music and like dropping consistently and doing like variety of like he just nailed so many boxes being 1 year younger than me. Then I was like, okay, well, I got another year to catch up. Forget it. Like let me
if I had to sum him up with one word, it'd be like loud spirit. You know what I mean? Where everybody knew about him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He made noise in everything he ever did, right?
Yeah. Never held back for sure.
Okay, so that concludes the interview section of this. Thanks for coming today, bro. That was amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to all the viewers for coming and watching, commenting, engaging with us today. If you want, share it out, and it'll be on here for replay forever. So thanks for coming today, bro. Everybody have a great day. New Year's coming soon. Cheers.
Happy New Year's.